The news is now well known. JSW Energy acquiring 1.75 gigawatt renewable portfolio of Mytrah Energy, which is and joins companies that are kind of committing billions to make India a renewable powerhouse. Prashant Jain joins in to talk about this particular acquisition. And in some fashion, viewers, when Prashant was talking about at the end of the quarterly conversation about how he believes they'll reach their targets ahead of the timelines, maybe we should have guessed. But Prashant, congratulations. This is a spectacularly large deal. As I understand from your release, accretive from day one itself.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, the valuations are pretty attractive. So the rationale for doing the transaction is, one is that such kind of a large portfolios are not available. So in a one shot, you get a 1.75 gigawatt renewable portfolio is a big number, because it takes a lot of time to build these assets. And these assets are phenomenally good quality assets, which have been built by Vikram Kailash and his team. And so we looked at from multiple yardstick to when we were acquiring these assets. Number one is that it's a size is really good. The second one is that's all our operating assets. The third reason is that majority of these assets are located adjacent to our assets where we are building the renewable assets. So it is giving a lot of synergies to us. The fourthly, there is a huge upside potential to improve the operating performance, because the company was having the difficulties in terms of the working capital and other issues, because of which 205 odd megawatt of the capacity is not operational, and that can be put into the generation very quickly, and then EBITDA can be improved substantially. And on a enterprise value basis, net of current asset, we have done the deal at 10,500 odd crores. And the normalized EBITDA, which we will be achieving in 12 to 14 months time frame, will be 1,650 crores, which is at P90 level. So there is an upside potential of both on EBITDA in terms of number one, that we can improve the generation better than P90. Second is there is a accumulation or credit of around 3.5 million carbon credits every year, which is also going to create additional value accretion. So on normalized EBITDA basis, it is a 6.4 times EV EBITDA. Lastly, if I want to build this asset today, because 1,331 odd megawatt is wind assets, it takes 7 to 8 crore per megawatt, and balances the solar assets, which takes around 4.8 to 5.5 crore per megawatt. So the replacement cost is 7 to 10% higher today. And what you bid today in a competitive bid environment, you will be getting south of 800 crore per gigawatt of the EBITDA generation, whereas this asset on normalized EBITDA basis itself will be giving 943 crore per gigawatt of the EBITDA generation. So it's a value accretive from day one.
On multiple counts, I presume. Now Prashant, you always stated, I mean, and you're a much larger company than what you were 3 years ago, but you always stated that whether you make an inorganic move or an organic plan, it is done keeping in mind, of course, the numbers, but also the stretch that it puts on the overall balance sheet. I reckon that either from that perspective or from the approvals perspective, this will not be an issue for you.
Absolutely. So look at this way, that from the valuation perspective, as I explained, that this is a value accretive day one. And so this asset will be generating mid-teen to high-teen kind of a equity IRRs for us. The second part is that with this acquisition, and also with 2.5 gigawatt, which is under construction, which we will be completing in next 12 to 15 months time frame, our debt EBITDA level will be less than 4 times. That means we have still a lot of headroom to grow our balance sheet, because industry average is 6.5 to 7 times debt EBITDA level. That's how the industry is designed, because you build the asset at 3:1 debt to equity numbers, and that gives us a lot of opportunity to grow organically and inorganically. And that's why I say that we will be achieving our targets even faster.
Yes, indeed. Just one quick thing. I'm just moving slightly ahead, but just trying to understand. If our math is correct, you move to what, about a share of renewables becomes what? Northwards of 60%.
65% will
65%.
be the share of renewable. So our capacity will be 6,000 odd megawatt with this, because 9,100 will be the capacity and 3,100 is our thermal capacity and 6,000 will be the renewable capacity. So 65% will be our capacity by December 2023. So and 6,000 odd megawatt of renewable capacity is quite a good capacity, but we are not going to stop here.
Of course not. No. So what I was trying to ask was, in primary financing or in refinancing, having such a larger proportion of renewables, does it help you in a scenario when interest rates are moving up for getting better or lower rated or lower rate loans, or comfortably getting the amount of debt that you may want to raise internationally?
So look at this way, all assets are fully capitalized at this point of time. So we have to do the restructuring and refinancing of the assets, because the average interest cost will be 10.5 to 11 odd %, and we will be in a position to reduce it by 200 to 250 basis point immediately, because our weighted average of finance cost is south of 8% as of now. And then see, cost of funding depends on the balance sheet strength as well as the ratios. And as I explained, that our balance sheet is quite under-levered, and that's what gives us the very good rating. And so we are pretty confident that we will be able to immediately change the rating of this company and do the restructuring and refinancing, and that will also be additional kicker. And that's how we will be generating good IRRs.
My final question, because I understand it's a rushed morning for you, Prashant, but one final question. You've told us now enough number of times that you might do it much earlier than anticipated. We should expect more action. You explained beautifully how you will expand the capacities of Mytrah as well. Is there something else in the very near term, or you've not quite? Because last time you told us that something could be expected very near term, and it has happened. Is there something else which is fairly close by, or is it spaced out now? Another inorganic move?
I think we should leave something for the next interview also, but but for sure there will be a lot of action, and next few quarters are quite a lot happening.
But fantastic deal, and the markets are talking about it as much in terms of the reward to your price performance to Prashant. So congratulations on that, and thanks so much for speaking to us today. All the best for many such more deals.
Thank you.
And viewers, thanks for tuning in.